You turn me on like a light switch when you're moving your body around and around. Now I don't wanna fight this. You know how to just make me want you. Turn me on like a light switch when you're moving your body around and around. You got me in a tight grip. You know how to just make me.
Your camera just, it's doing this crazy zooming thing
Oh
right
my
now.
gosh, it's literally living up to its name, Zoom.
But it was like like when something dramatic happens on TV, like it zooms in on someone's face. It was just,
Yeah.
that's fun. I've never seen
Oh,
that.
what's going on, man? Jayson Slade, 101 WIXX. Everybody, special guest right now. Singer-songwriter, you know him from the hits Attention, One Call Away, See You Again, amongst others, of course. Nominated, won various music awards. Charlie Puth in the Zoom room, everybody.
Clapping for myself. Is that all right?
Oh my God, dude, it's like Google did not want this interview to go down, man, but I'm glad we finally got this thing hooked up. How are you, man? How is life going on for Charlie Puth besides promoting the new music, new album, and all that?
It feels good. I actually woke up pretty shocked today because I try not to look at charts or anything like that, but I saw that Light Switch is going up very high all of a sudden. And I kind of like thought, and amongst my morning thoughts, remember I went back to the time where I created it, and I was like, this is the weirdest song ever. No one's gonna like this, and I was very, very wrong. I also thought that about Attention too, and I was very wrong as well. That always happens when I make different.
It's one of my favorite tracks from him, by the way. Anytime Attention comes on, man, I got to turn it up. But let's talk about Light Switch. Fun, it's upbeat. Yeah. And as you said, it's been shooting up the charts, not just the charts, but radio play as well. Have you been personally surprised in terms of how quickly the song has caught on so far? I know you said you've been slightly surprised in terms of the track. You like had somewhat of some doubts, but are you a little bit taken back by how quickly it just caught on? Because this is the first like Charlie Puth track that we've gotten in about 3-4 years. So, and people are excited about it.
Well, you're right. It's been the first. I can't believe it's been that long since I put out a song, and I gotta give a shout out to like your station and just my radio family overall, because the fact that I haven't put anything. I mean, I know I had like a couple features and I was here and there, but like to have this support after such a long time is really, really special. So I feel really loved in that regard. So that's nice. And but just as far as the song goes, it's very different. When I put Attention out, it was a very different sounding song from One Call Away. And I'm always trying. I don't work with other producers on my own projects, so I'm always trying to be a different producer, if that makes sense. So Light Switch sounds completely different than Attention, but I'm singing it, so it kind of sounds similar.
Let's talk about it, because your songwriting ability, I've seen a few different articles, and I've seen you talk about how you don't record your songs in a studio, and Light Switch was actually done in a studio. So because I think the story that, from what I remember, is We Don't Talk Anymore that you did with Selena. Was that done in a closet of a hotel room? Is that a true story, or were people just kind of throwing sauce on it? That really happened?
Close. It was recorded in a closet of my lawyer's house in the Hollywood Hills that he was renting at the time, and we made a homemade vocal booth with clothing. It's very ratchet.
You're not doing a lot of songs in the studio. Why is that? Do you think it just creates more of a genuine intimacy when you're recording a song? Is there a certain element that is there a particular reason why you usually are not in the studio when you do a lot of these songs?
Pretty much exactly how you said it. I mean, Light Switch is the, I guess the exemption there, where I just don't feel like people listen to music in a recording studio. Like, regular everyday people listen to music in their cars, at their workplace, in their homes, on the radio, wherever they listen to, on their headphones. They don't have $1 million recording studios with perfect audio. So it's almost better if like the recording is a little effed up. And like the guitar on We Don't Talk Anymore, I used an iPhone to record it. And when you do a voice memo on your iPhone, it has this really slammed compression, and it just you could hear the air conditioner in the background when the guitar was playing. It's just, the imperfections add to the humanistic feeling of it, and I feel like the listener can relate to it more. So that's why I don't really record in studios too much.
So someone that you've gotten to know over a time period, Sir Elton John, this guy, he knows a little something about music, a little something.
I think so. We should
Just a tad.
You should play him a little bit more. Give him. Dude,
that track he's got with Dua Lipa, that's actually taken off quite a bit.
Oh yeah, he has like a #1 song or something.
Yeah, it's a great song. But you went on record about how he was very critical of the last album, Voice Notes, which a lot of people love, by the way. But he was very critical and used a term that you had quoted that I can't say necessarily on Zoom, but
not on Voice Notes. He liked Voice Notes. It was the music.
Okay.
It was a couple of those singles that I had put out afterwards in 2019.
Oh, okay.
Before the pandemic. But you're right when he brought up Voice Notes, because he basically said to me, he was like, you can't put 3 producers on one song. It's that you're not that kind of artist. You are supposed to make, his words, you're supposed to be making the music yourself. And I love collaboration, but if I don't have I do notice myself, if I don't have a heavy hand in the production, it really doesn't sound like me.
You feel like it's not enough of you?
Yeah, totally. And I don't know. I have a I think in 2019, I was kind of putting a cap on my personality, and that kind of also spilled over to my music too. I was trying to be the cool guy, and I'm not the cool guy. I'm the music guy.
I noticed you cut the hair down too, right?
Yeah, well, recently,
rocking it low. Yeah,
it was getting ridiculous. I'm out here in Narnia, and I don't have a hairstylist with me every day, so I kind of had to go a little shorter to last a bit longer.
Funny story, real quick, if you could touch on it. There's a story about when you were gonna collab and you were gonna work with Elton John, about how this whole thing went down. You found out that you were his neighbor. You didn't even know. Like, you could just walk over literally to his house, and you had no idea he was in your neighborhood, right?
You know, like especially in LA, everything's 40 minutes away. And I typed in the address thinking it was going to be like an hour and 20 minutes to get to the recording studio. And the driving option didn't even pop up on the phone. It was a walking option. I thought there was something wrong with my GPS, but he's literally my next door neighbor, which is pretty incredible.
The new album, Charlie, #1, is there a release date for it, an official release date for it yet? Or that's just going to be later on down the...
Yeah, but we'll probably like put out, Light Switch is going up the radio chart. So we're going to, I think in this day and age, you kind of have to give the fans what they want. So maybe we're going to just put out another song just for the fans, but it'll also be part of the album. But no release date, not yet.
Is that a different strategy you're taking? I remember last summer you had put out a tweet, this extensive tweet about how, you had success after See You Again, of course, but you felt like everything was starting to be rushed. Like there really was no official plan for a follow-up single, and you felt like you were being rushed. Is that why maybe that we're going with that approach?
Yeah, 100%. It's almost like you're reading my mind right now, Jayson.
Oh, well.
That's exactly what's going down.
So the new album, what are you most proud of so far in terms of what you have done? And what is it about the new album, Charlie, that we're gonna listen to, that we're gonna be like, oh wow, we haven't heard that before from Charlie?
I feel like I'm always trying to genre bend. I did it on the last album with Voice Notes, where I was taking like what was great about 1988 and the R&B side of things and how poppy could make it. Sorry, there's a helicopter. California.
A lot of those in LA, right? Helicopters.
A lot of those. But I think I combined like the best of that era of R&B and into how pop I could make it. And now, I got Travis Barker on drums on one of these, I think on track 7 of the record.
That's not a bad guy to have playing drums.
I know everybody's doing the rock thing, but nobody's doing the rock that led into the 80s. So it's kind of like, they're not time period pieces, but musically, no one really kind of nods as much to 1978, 1979, which were very transitional years in music, which led to Phil Collins and Philip Bailey and etc. So there's a bit of nods to that, and my usual chordy jazziness. It's just, I don't know. It's just me. That's why I'm calling it Charlie.
Yeah. For a lot of us that are usually checking out TikTok and social media, the first time we really heard any kind of snippet of Light Switch was on TikTok.
Yeah.
And many people may not know, but how you got on the map initially, where you were part of that first generation wave of YouTube singer-songwriters getting the music out there. How do you feel right now in terms of seeing artists that are just throwing hooks out there, the TikTok generation, in terms of, you know, we're seeing TikTok stars now getting record deals off of, you know, a 20-second hook, you know?
I think it's great. And I think wherever great music is, if it's on TikTok, if it's on the radio, if it's on YouTube, it's just, if it's great, it's going to be heard by people. I remember when Shaggy, It Wasn't Me, and maybe I'm dating myself here, but that came out in 2000, and there was a radio station that played it in Hawaii, and then it just exploded everywhere because the song was so different and so incredible and ear-bending at the time. So if your song is ear-bending, that's great. Put it on TikTok, but don't make music for TikTok. Make music for yourself, and TikTok will use it as the platform to spread it out to the millions.
Now, even though we haven't had like a, you know, the new music now, it's the first in about 3 or 4 years out of you. People assume, you know, if we don't hear from someone for a while, that they're just laying on the couch eating Cheetos and stuff. You write songs for other artists. There are songs that are out there that people may not know that you wrote. There's Stay from Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber. You've written for 5 Seconds of Summer and all these other artists. For you, being a singer-songwriter, what is more rewarding for you as a songwriter? Songs that you write and record for yourself, or the songs that you write for other artists that they can nail down and it hits the top of the charts? Like, what are you most proud of usually?
Oh man, that's a hard question, because I had never met Kid Laroi, and we weren't even supposed to do a session that day. And he was just we were so excited to meet each other because I'm such a fan of him and he wasn't me as well. And I just started playing that little ba 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 bum, and I was so impressed with how he got on the microphone. I was so inspired. So I'm so proud of that song and what it's done for his budding career. And he got icon Justin Bieber on there as well. It's just, so I'm super proud of that. But at the same time, I'm so proud of what Light Switch is doing for my career as well. So maybe when I'm like 60 or 70, and I'm hopefully still doing this, I'm going to get more joy out of breaking young artist career. But I don't know. I'm going to be narcissistic and just make it all about me still. I'm still in the mode of my artist career, so I have to say that.
I was going to ask you about a tour, but I guess we should probably get the album out before we actually start talking about a tour. I'm sure that's probably maybe it's been in the works, maybe it's not. But anyways, Charlie, that's the first album in 4 years from Charlie Puth. Social media handles, man, your fans, how can they get in touch with you?
Everything Charlie Puth. Just simple browse on TikTok.
Nice. Charlie, thank you so much for taking the time. I'm so sorry we got there was a disconnection there for the first couple of minutes, but taking the time, chatting with us, we sincerely appreciate it, man. Good luck with everything.
Man, thank you.
Take care, Charlie.